What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back here to the Diamond Kingdom. It's the Diamond Lion. Today we are back for our second tour of our survival world. First off, I want to say thank you to all of you that like the video, enjoying the content. We have almost 70 subscribers here on the channel, so thank you. Really do appreciate that, and the comments have been great. It seems like you guys really enjoy sort of the laid back, very simplistic kind of nature of my world. And I think that's something we're going to kind of continue here as we kind of move forward. You know, I think this is a very old style of Minecraft while playing in the current version. This is the latest snapshot of Minecraft. So I want to continue to kind of use the things from the new versions of Minecraft while also keeping things like old Minecraft at the same time. It's trying to blend the two together that I think is kind of the best way of playing this game. At least that's my opinion. So kind of continuing along today. We really haven't done much kind of by the original base here. I'm trying to remember what I've added since you guys last saw. This is all kind of the same as it was. I did add this kind of a golden bridge here. Obviously it's not finished yet. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to kind of make the side here, but you can see we got the river coming through here, which I think is a really nice touch. But we have all this land cleared out, and I'm really looking to expand and make a bunch of kind of buildings and make a nice little village here. It's just a matter of kind of putting everything together, but I really like how this kind of the plan is going very nicely. It's just kind of building everything, which hopefully the next time we're here, you guys will see that. This is going to be our train station eventually. You can see all that open cavern right there. It worked out really well where a lot of this was already kind of closed off and I kind of just built around it. So we're eventually going to dig down a little more. We're going to have, you know, a mine carts coming through here. So the plan is to eventually have that all set up. And yeah, we'll be doing that very soon. The iron farm continuing to chug out a ton of iron for us, as you can see. It's doing really well, and I'm really happy with how this project turned out. It's a very efficient setup here because not only do we get the endless iron, but we also have trading for villagers, so I have a ton of emeralds and crops with more than I can handle. The only issue is with this farm, it's kind of more of a decoration, the crops around it, because we do now have a better setup. We have an automatic pumpkin farm, an automatic or semi-automatic melon and pumpkin farm, and eventually we're gonna have a semi-automatic wheat farm. So, you know, it's kind of gonna be just a relic and a decoration, but until then, I do like having that around, which is kind of nice. So we have that. I have to show you guys this. So the plan is we're going to be expanding a lot more this way behind our mountain, and you'll see why in a minute, because the last time I showed you guys a kind of expansion of this area, it was kind of the beginning of the new frontier, but we have heavily, that is where a lot of today's video is going to be, is in this area. So this is all the same, and then you start to see this building has kind of gone vertical, so we're gonna go over that too. But before we head that direction, I want to show you guys our underground subway mine cart system. It's very early on, but you can see this is where our horse stable is. It's going to be right here, and we have all this space here. So eventually I want to build a nice base inside of here, and that's why I'm kind of hesitant to work on the subway station up this way, because I have a feeling this might actually end up being our subway line. So again, it's a tentative plan for now, but there is a lot going on here, as you can probably guess. Let's see, that zombie, come on over, buddy. Yeah, we have a nice knockback on this bow, which I love. Perfect. So we now have a I'm pretty sure it's a functioning minecart, but this thing is going to take us all the way to our new area. So because it's not working, I'll use the one that you guys are probably more familiar with. So we're going to go up here and use this one because this is the one you guys are probably going to put two and two together like, oh, I remember when he was building that. So let's head over here real quick. And yeah, so like I said, this is the building. It's going vertical. I'm not really sure what I'm going to put in here, which hence is a huge part of the reason we really haven't seen much here. You can see the tree farm no longer in use over here. And again, we'll explain that once we get over there. But it does look really nice in here. It's very similar to what it looked like in the last update, but it is definitely going more vertical. And, you know, we're definitely putting things together, which is nice. Obviously, this is the part that looks very different than it has since the last time you guys saw it. We now have a second cart going this way, which eventually I might take down both of these tracks because we are going to have an underground system. So we're not really going to need this cart. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do yet. I might keep it, I might not, but we'll see what happens. You can see we're kind of landscaping, creating definitely a different vision than what I had when I first built this. Because this was supposed to be on the outside of the building. And now we've kind of incorporated it on the inside, if you guys remember from the last episode. But we ended up building another part of the base here. And you can see we kind of have an empty room here. We can kind of, it's just a very open area. So we have all of this here. This part probably looks pretty familiar because most of this is from what it was last time. Maybe a little bit more decoration here, but pretty much the same. A little bit of decoration here. I think this looks nice, just adding the bookshelves. Really looks a little bit nicer than what we had. And over here, same thing. We could use a couple of our music discs. We've got that there. This whole atrium is kind of open, but closed at the top, so we don't have rain coming in here. We have the automatic pumpkin and melon farm, or semi at least, and pushes them out, and you just are able to collect. And the same thing over here with the sugar cane. Same thing. You've got the piston, the pressure plate that, or the piston that pushes it out. It's not perfect, but it does the job, so I can't really complain too much about this one. Over here, just kind of just decoration, not really anything going on this wall. Maybe future expansion. We have another portal here now. I could expand out a lot more in the future this way, so we'll probably do that eventually. This is kind of a, like, you know, we have our, like, kind of monster items in here. You know, you've got your endless spider, string, blaze rods, you know, all the kind of monster loot is in here. Because it was really clogging up my inventory in the chests upstairs, so we no longer have that issue. We're starting to add our mining materials down here, so that is all down here. We've got a new enchantment table, which I really like over here, and you're definitely going to see more enchantment tables around the world. We're definitely adding that. We have a snow golem, which is right over here, and he's doing pretty well. He's doing his thing. And he is my endless snow. So when I need to collect more snow for kind of building around the base, we have our snow. Over here is going to be our new mine train system in this part of the base. So we're going to have a bunch of different, you know, signs kind of letting you know which area takes you where. So we're going to have that going all the way down here eventually. So we have that. And this one actually takes us to another spot, which maybe I'll show you a little bit later on. So this is our kind of underground portion of the base. Still not complete, but it's a lot further along than it was last time we were here. Upstairs, pretty basic, so it's going to be kind of a quick overview and kind of gives you an overview of this area. We've got this area here, very open. Again, you'll see that as kind of a theme. Everything is very open in this area. Again, nice little room here. Not much in here, but we do have these open rooms. The other portion of the base, I'm kind of annoyed because this was not supposed to, this was supposed to be an open area here when this was built. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I might make the glass go like here to here and then make this like a wall. So we might end up doing something like that. And then looking on top of this portion of the base, you'll see that this is a pretty massive footprint, but it's not overly massive because it kind of spans over to this way, which is all new. This is the new expansion area this way. And you can see we now have a horse stable, which is down here. We have a very odd looking building where it kind of just cuts off. I was trying something new. It did not work, but we do have that over there. We have another little watchtower right here. And then over here we have a automatic wool farm, fully automatic wool farm, which is back there. I'll show you that in a little bit. Another little train station over there. And then over here we have a tree farm. This is the new tree farm. So instead of trying to go all the way back to the other side of the base, we not only have doubled we have now 4 working farms here. We also now have one for the bigger trees, the 2x2 size trees. So we now have that in here as well. Really happy with how this turned out. We're going to put all mossy cobble in here, so that's not going to look like that when it's done. But for now, that's where we're at, and we collect all our loot down here, and everything is connected to go right into here. So you have that, which is pretty nice. And we've got that. All our wood types are along here. Eventually, I would like to label that. Over here, we have the other part of the expansion. So you've got another kind of hidden room here, which isn't done. You have this side, which is practically done. And you can see how everything connects back to this area here, which I think is really, really nice. Really happy with how this part of the world turned out. We have our cherry blossom garden here with a couple of plants just to plus it up a little bit. We've got our things here. We have our tree farm, the original OG one here. And we have a little bit of a greenhouse that we kind of started working on, but not really much else. Just another empty room here. An unfinished dock over here. And I am looking to build something here, but I'm not quite sure what yet. So this is still a work in progress on this side. But you can get a pretty good lay of the land here. There's a lot going on. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of things for this world, but things are progressing heavily since the last time you guys even saw. And one of the further points was over here, which we've now really added. We have the Jeb sheep, of course, right? So you've got that sheep there. You had the pig, which was supposed to be, Technoblade, but I think either I did it wrong or it just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So we have that there. I guess while I'm here, I'll show you this part. This is another kind of branching out from where we were. And this leads right into a spruce biome. This eventually is going to be a bigger tower, but this is kind of just the base of it. So we have this here. Nothing really crazy, just kind of messing around with different wood types and pallets of blocks. But I think it turned out pretty well. And this eventually is going to have a nice fireplace in here. Another probably spot where I'm going to keep villagers and kind of let them do their thing. So that's going to be over here. Eventually I'm going to open up all of this wood area and flatten it out and create something. But I have probably 2 or 3 ideas of what I'm going to do. I'm not quite sure yet. So once I figure that out, we'll kind of have that laid out. And kind of the same thing over here. We have a kind of empty, it kind of just drops off, similar to that train station area on the other side. So I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do with this area, but this is also another little open spot. So we have this area. I'll take you back to the home base here, which I would say this is kind of the home base now instead of where we were on the other side. This is definitely where I spend a lot more time, is in this portion of the world. And the Diamond Kingdom is expanding very quickly, but you can see that we're kind of moving things around a little bit. And yeah, this is the inside of that building, which I think actually turned out pretty okay, but there's a lot going on here. So we'll make some changes eventually to that. We have another kind of dock area here, and it's not done yet, but we do have some of the carpet done. And I'll probably build a little dock on the outside here, kind of bringing imports of products and things like that. And then over here, eventually we'll be expanding out that way again. But over, you know, they always decide they need to have the fire truck go out when I'm recording, but that's all right. You can see our automatic wool farm. So fully automatic. The only thing I need to do is empty out this chest, which does fill up pretty quickly now. The newest update in Minecraft makes it 2 times more efficient. They eat grass 2 times more than they used to, which is a pretty big deal. I do have that sheep just open because I'm planning on adding another wool type. Just trying to figure out still which one I need to add. Let me know in the comments down below, which one am I missing? Probably going to add a light blue. But we have a couple. We have pink, purple, green, red, white. We have a whole bunch of them here. And we'll be adding to that very, very soon. But yeah, this is working really, really well for us. And I like that this build is kind of low-key. Like from the home base, you can barely see it because of all the woods. And this building is kind of ugly. So I am still trying to fight off what I want this to be. You can see we started another building. So there's a lot going on, but we're working through it, figuring things out. But that's kind of where we're at. This is a working cart that takes you to the other side, so we have that. Down here, I'll show you guys this, because this is another portion that we expanded. So this is eventually going to be my automatic wheat farm. So you can see over here, this kind of closes off here, but we do have the farm, which is over here. So this actually does work. So you shut that lever, and all this water is going to push all the crops down here for us. And that's, again, like I said, kind of making the other one kind of just not usable. So, and you could see, obviously, this doesn't work too well because we have a little bit of an issue. So that's something I'll have to work on and figure out. But it is what it is. We'll work through it. There you go. So we are starting to build another one here. But that's also kind of just a work in development. I wish I had a villager in here to make this fully automatic. And that way I could have the villagers replanting everything, which would be awesome. But we aren't fully there quite yet. So we're getting there, but not yet. You can see almost 2 full stacks of wheat is not too bad. So that's pretty cool. So yeah. And eventually I'll add the chests in here to kind of have all my crops over here. Because that's the eventual plan. The eventual plan is to put all my crops and stuff in here. So yeah, very, very soon we'll be doing that. Alright, so we'll get out of this area for a little bit. Head back this way. And there's actually another minecart area. So if we take this minecart over here, we're actually going to go in a different direction. Let's do that real quick. And this is another expansion area that's very, very much in development. Not really too far along, but we're expanding our horizons in this world, to say the least. So we're going this way, and this actually, so that's our base there. If you go back this direction, that takes you back to the original base area, like that plains biome. And if we go this direction, so that direction takes us back to the shoreline, which I don't think we need to go that direction quite yet, because there's really not much going on there. But I do want to go this way, because this will take us to, it is now October, so I wanted to do more like of a Halloween content, but I think I'm going to kind of miss the boat with Halloween. So of course you start thinking about Christmas after Halloween, right? So this is going to lead us to our Santa Land area, and I have very much just started working on it. You can see already it's snowing in here. Looks really nice. I am going to be building a hockey arena here, and we are going to be building Santa's workshop, and where the elves live and all of that stuff will be coming out very, very shortly. So stay tuned. We will be doing that in the very near future. And you can see here, this is kind of the outpost that kind of leads us to our surrounding areas from here. And like I said, a lot of this not really done yet, but we are working on it. We'll have a nice little building here. This is all going to be cleared out so we can start to build Santa's workshop. You can see a dog right there. Look at that. I should have brought bones. I didn't even think to bring bones, but we have a nice little bridge that leads us all the way across to what is eventually going to be the hockey arena. And I already have the name of the arena and everything set up, but very, very early on in the process of, what kind of blocks do I want to use, and kind of figuring out the overall structure of the building itself, kind of planning out where exactly I want to build it, because there is this entire, basically it's just water, it's just a bunch of packed ice biome. It's a ton of open space for us to work with, so I really would like to utilize this area a little bit more. And with a giant project like that, like a giant stadium, it would be a lot easier to do this type of project here than trying to fit it into an area that just needs so much land cleared. So that is going to be coming up, and I'll probably have the entrance, or the kind of the start of that stadium is going to be like right here, and it's just going to go all the way out that direction. So we'll be working on that a little bit later on this year. And like I said, eventually we'll have kind of Santa's area over here too. So that's the latest over here. So let's head back. There we go. So yeah, you can see it's, I really like the opening here with that bridge. Kind of as soon as you come into this area, I think that looks pretty good. I'm really happy with how that turned out. So we have that. It's just tough because this biome is very hilly, so it's kind of difficult to do everything I want to do in here. But and it's a very small snow biome, so even in that sense, like, there's just not a lot of room to work with. So it's definitely going to be a nice challenge figuring out how we're going to kind of lay everything out there. So we have this. And you know what, to cap off the video, why not? Let's head that direction and kind of go from our checkpoint over to this area. So let's just see what we got. I guess not. I don't have the powered rails. So maybe we could just take a quick walk over there and we'll call it a day for this video. But this is going to be the next area that leads us back to our original area. So like I said, this is kind of the shoreline area. Originally, this was going to lead us into the snow biome, but it's not going to do that anymore. I got to figure out kind of where I want the track to go, but that is no longer going to be the plan. And like I said, you can see here, I mean, this was going to go all the way to the stadium. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. You can see it kind of just comes right back into itself. So I got to figure that out eventually. But I do like this real estate with all this kind of area right by the shoreline. I really would like to build something nice over here. And as you guys could see in the distance, that was the iron farm. So the iron farm is right here. And again, everything kind of loops back, which is nice. And everything's kind of connected. And is a lot closer now with the tracks that we have. Everything's a lot closer than it used to be. Just expanding our world. And I do have a lot of other projects I'd like to work on in the near future. I think, like I said, the big one kind of going into the winter snow biome. That's something I'm really looking to work on. So we'll be doing a lot more work over there. But yeah, this is kind of leading us back to where we were. And I have, like I said, I have a zombie XP farm, which is obviously helping us out a lot right now. I started working on this castle, but really haven't gotten anywhere further. So hoping to work on this area more. We got some nether wart over there. And this is the zombie XP farm. But other than that, nothing else has really changed. So I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe as always. And stay tuned. We'll be posting another video, an update here in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.